I'm Peyton Gall with these KSJB Radio local news headlines for Thursday, December 4th. The Jamestown Fire Department responded to a house fire this morning in southeast Jamestown, with all occupants and pets escaping safely. According to the Jamestown Sun, 5 units and 18 firefighters arrived shortly after 7 a.m. at 506 5th Avenue Southeast after reports of a bedroom fire. Captain Sheldon Moore says crews opened walls to extinguish the fire and check for hot spots, spending about 2 hours and 15 minutes on scene. The most probable cause was electrical. The home sustained minor smoke and water damage, along with damage from opened walls. Occupants are displaced due to no electricity, and the American Red Cross is assisting them. No injuries were reported. Jamestown police also responded to the scene. A North Dakota man pleaded guilty today to federal charges for operating a multi-state drug trafficking conspiracy that distributed methamphetamine and fentanyl across North Dakota, Nevada, and Montana. According to Valley News Live, Scott Alexander Rasky, also known as McNasty, entered guilty pleas to 4 counts, including conspiracy to distribute controlled substances from January 2021 to October of 2022. The operation distributed more than 500 grams of meth and fentanyl using interstate travel, rental vehicles, wire transfers, and Facebook to coordinate sales from locations in Minot and the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation. Rasky also pleaded guilty to possessing approximately 140 grams of methamphetamine and 3 grams of fentanyl in May 2022, and to possessing 2 firearms in furtherance of drug trafficking. Under a plea agreement, prosecutors will recommend 20 years in prison, 180 months on drug charges, plus 60 consecutive months on firearms charges. Rasky is currently held at Barnes County Jail. A sentencing hearing has not been scheduled. The North Dakota Supreme Court unanimously reversed a district court ruling that suppressed chemical breath test evidence in a criminal vehicular homicide case. The case involves Travis Bell of Fordville, accused of criminal vehicular homicide and criminal vehicular injury in connection with a June 4th crash near Grand Forks that killed a juvenile female. Judge Ted Sandberg suppressed the breath test and results in March after Bell argued the evidence violated his due process rights. The Supreme Court found Judge Sandberg, quote, misapplied the law, end quote, ruling the state did properly prove Bell voluntarily consented to the breath test after being informed of his rights under implied consent law. All 5 justices agreed, reversing the suppression and allowing the breath test evidence to be used against Bell in the homicide case. Energy industry leaders say Tuesday's court ruling striking down North Dakota's carbon storage law creates significant uncertainty for carbon capture projects statewide, despite landowners calling for just compensation for the use of their land, according to reporting by the North Dakota Monitor. The ruling affects Summit Carbon Solutions pipeline project, transporting emissions from ethanol plants including Theraldson Ethanol near Castleton, and could impact Minn Kota Power's Project Tundra at a coal plant near Center. Jonathan Fortner of the Lignite Energy Council warns the decision creates uncertainty when reliable, affordable electricity is critical. He warns this ruling could affect grid reliability, bills, and local jobs down the line. Energy law scholar Owen Anderson says the decision could open challenges to other pore space uses like saltwater disposal, which is imperative to the oil and gas industry. Senator Dale Patton, a carbon sequestration proponent, questions what alternative language lawmakers could use if the ruling stands. Northwest Landowners Association Chair Troy Coons says companies should work with landowners for 100% voluntary participation or use eminent domain for public utility projects. The Dakota Resource Council calls it a major win for farmers and ranchers opposing CO2 pipelines and storage. That's KSJB Radio local news for Thursday, December 4th. You can listen to the Evening News Roundup live weekdays at 5 p.m.